packed my bags, I've got my plane ticket, and I'm off to New York for just 48 hours. Welcome to my first ever travel vlog. So you may have seen about 18 months ago I completed the biggest piece of artwork I've ever made. A 2 metre tall mosaic of MF Doom made entirely out of computer keyboard keys. All caps when you spell the man's name. Well, a lot has happened since then. First of all, I posted a TikTok video unveiling the mosaic and it amassed an incredible 1.3 million views from an account that only had 12 followers to begin with. The response was amazing. 100,000 likes, hundreds of comments, even a few offers to buy the piece. But the one comment that stood out to me was from the Universal Hip Hop Museum in New York. They were interested in the piece and I was really excited. So after a few discussions with the guys at the museum, shout out to Adam Silverstein and Senyon Kelly, I agreed to donate the piece if they would cover the shipping costs. Now the shipping costs were always going to be the biggest barrier to getting this item anywhere in the world. It weighs around 100 kilograms, which is 220 pounds. So I did a bit of shopping round and I ended up using a company that I trust, that I've used before, called Pack and Send, based in Salford Keys. So I was happy, the Hip Hop Museum was happy, and we signed off on the whole thing. In the meantime, I thought it was so cool that something I created was going to be on display in a museum in New York that I spoke to the guys at the museum and I offered to create another piece that I would donate to the museum. They agreed and I decided to make a mosaic of Jay-Z out of Yankee caps. As an added bonus, it could be shipped in the same crate as the MF Doom mosaic at no extra cost, so everyone was happy. After crossing some T's and dotting some I's, the two mosaics were finally shipped over to the Bronx at the start of this year, making it there safe and sound. Now, I should mention that the Universal Hip Hop Museum's new 57,000 square foot building in Bronx Point doesn't open until next year. So my artwork, along with other hip hop art and memorabilia, is currently on display at the museum's
Culture Lab.
But I didn't want to wait a year to go and see them.
So I set off on Thursday afternoon from Manchester Airport, where I would board an Aer Lingus flight direct to New York. I went with Aer Lingus because it was the cheaper option and this was a budget trip. I had a surprisingly smooth experience through check-in and security and stopped for an obligatory pint of the black stuff. I made my way to the gate, got on board the plane, all on time. I was surprised at the quality and service from Aer Lingus. There's nothing wrong with it at all. Free food, free drink, and also a lot of entertainment options. Loads of new films that I'd never seen before, but I decided to watch my favourite film that I'd seen 1,000 times. I also had a few games of chess, but like usual, I couldn't fall asleep. After just 7 hours, we landed at JFK, and I made my way to the air train so I could get to the subway. And from there, I made my way to Manhattan, specifically Soho, where I was staying at a place called Now Now Soho. The area where I was staying was on the edge of Soho in the East Village, and it was a really cool place to stay. Loads of bars, loads of artwork on the walls, and of course, my budget hotel. And this is the room. Very small. That's the tour. That's it. I'm talking quietly because I've actually been told you're not allowed to play music or even talk in the rooms because you can see the ceiling. All the ceilings are like that. They're all connected. I can hear someone in the next room rustling around, so I suppose I understand the rule. But yeah, budget trip, budget hotel. As well as visiting the Hip Hop Museum, I had a lot of things planned for this trip. I wanted to cram as much in to the 48 hours as I could. My first destination was Rodney's Comedy Club on 1st Avenue.
Getting some steps in here, walking down 2nd Avenue. Pretty much goes all the way up Manhattan. We're making this walk for about an hour. And then we'll have some fun.
Sleep, look, I could not lie. Look me in my eyes, I got money on my mind. Smoking till my eyes on the bleed. Smoking, looking like I'm Johnny. Stack up, I just maintained in a week. Back up, but you don't wanna feel the seat. Had to make it out.
I want you to clap for everyone, because we're here for the attention, not the money. Up next, we have Rick Redman!
So this is my first time doing stand-up, and it's really important that you guys all like me. So a black guy, a Muslim, and a Jew walk into a bar. No, I'm only joking. Yeah, I'm very jet lagged. In my head, it's about 5 a.m. at the moment, and as a parent of 2 small children, that's the equivalent of it being next Tuesday. So, I don't know why I'm looking at my hand, there's nothing written. I said, I think I need to finish that right now. It didn't happen in the end, I couldn't fit it in my mouth.
He tells everyone it's his first time.
Pop shit, you talking hot shit, but you ain't about that, so you don't want this. I got that big Glock and that shit.
Day 2, I'm gonna go get some breakfast. I'm a bit self-conscious of walking down the street and recording. Ridiculous considering I just did stand-up comedy on a whim last night. Oh, there's some street art there. Sorry, can't stop. There'll be plenty of footage of street art on this video. But for now, I need to go and get some breakfast. So I just had a lovely breakfast at that place. Apparently it's like a really old, famous place, like generational. Pretty like multicultural as well. The lady who served me was Egyptian. Her mate behind the counter was Mexican. The cooks were Polish. Yeah, we had a good chat. I had French toast and coffee and orange juice. It was good. And obviously when I tell them I'm from Manchester, they want to talk about soccer. The Egyptian lady didn't really know too much about soccer, but the Mexican guy knew a little bit. For some reason, he was telling the Egyptian lady that Mo Salah's not very good anymore. And I didn't have the heart to correct him. So she now believes her Egyptian king is now rubbish. So I'll just let her believe that.
Manhattan's Washington Square Park is famous for its chess hustlers who set up at tables in the park and wait for people to challenge them for money.
So as it turns out, I think I'm too early for the chess hustlers at Washington Square Park, so I'm just having to sit down for a few minutes, let my French toast go down. Looked around the park and I did think this might happen. I think that they come in the afternoon and into the evening, and it's only 9:25. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to play any chess hustlers, which is a shame because I really wanted to do it. I've been playing a lot of chess recently, but never mind. I'd have to choose between playing chess and going to the museum, which obviously I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go to the museum. But yeah, what do I do with my time now? There is actually a gallery where Eric Orr has got a piece, a Keith Haring exhibition. I might go and have a look at that, get some shots along the way. There's a few bars I want to check out, but it is early. But then again, I am on holiday, so if they're open, I think I'm going to go in.
I will lose. I'm like 650 euros.
Don't worry about it. Maybe trying to regroup and get
Well, yeah, but then I've left the pawn with fewer defenders than you have on yours. My dad taught me how to play chess when I was a kid, but I never really played it. This is actually my first game in real life.
Really? One more time. Pretty perfect.
This might be my losing move, but I gotta get creative.
Alright, that'll be better. Sorry, guys.
So that was fun. I said that there were no chess hustlers here. I'm a bit too early, but I had a bit more of a wander around. The sun came out. I didn't know that until I walked out from the trees, actually. And I've just spent 20 minutes playing with Johnny, one of the chess hustlers. He was really, really good to chat to him. He knew about football. Wanted to talk a lot about Mario Balotelli. Why not? Yeah, he beat me, but I lasted longer than I thought. But these guys, chess is their life. Chess is their income. Paid him $5 for a game and $5 for a lesson. To be honest, he didn't tell me anything I didn't already know about chess. You know, the principles, controlling the center, developing your pieces, protect the king, all that sort of stuff. But, you know, I'm just letting him tell me the stuff, and I gave him another $5. He didn't actually ask for the extra $5, but I enjoyed chatting to him, told him about the museum. He'd actually seen the Jay-Z piece. Yeah, that was good. Really enjoyed having a game of chess. That was my first real life game of chess as well. First time actually touching chess pieces. So New York's been kind to me so far. I'm getting some new experiences, having a lot of fun.
Eric Orr is the person who's going to be showing me around the Hip Hop Museum later. He's a bit of a cultural icon in the world of hip hop art, as he's one of the very first graffiti artists ever. He had a friendship and professional relationship with Keith Haring, who has an exhibition on at Martos Gallery in Chinatown. So I'm going to go check it out, especially because there's a 40-year-old piece from the New York subway that Keith Haring and Eric Orr collaborated on together. And this is it. The focus of the piece is Eric Orr's Rapping Max robot character, who we'll talk a little bit more about later, but he's basically Eric's signature character. Here he is alongside one of Keith Haring's iconic and instantly recognisable doodles. McSorley's was definitely a place I wanted to check off the list. It's been constantly open since 1854 and lays claim to be New York's longest running and oldest bar. Nearly everything inside the pub is original from the mid-19th century. The wishbones above the bar are from a Thanksgiving dinner held for the Irish 69th Regiment before they went off to fight in the First World War. The wishbones remain to this day because they didn't return home. On a lighter note, Charlie Sheen's unused 1996 World Series ticket is framed alongside a picture of Charlie and some of the staff from McSorley's because he opted for staying and getting drunk instead of going to the game. Then it was a swift one at another Irish bar to get out of the rain before heading to the subway and on to the Bronx to see the Hip Hop Museum. I was welcomed into the Culture Lab by Eric himself, who showed me around the space. And it was great to finally see my artwork again in person. He also introduced me to the legendary rapper, producer and manager Pete Nice, who took me through some of the archives they have at the museum. He showed me some incredible stuff, including some doodles, lyrics and contracts handwritten by MF Doom himself, and he even let me try on Jam Master Jay's hat.
There you have, that's Jay's hat.
It was a bit small.
Trying to get them to have artists rotate murals on here across this one.
Yeah.
I was really excited to be taken across the road to see the new hip hop museum that's opening next year. Not many people get to see inside, but Eric let me in to show me where everything's going to go. He took me through how the origins of hip-hop are going to be represented in the opening foyer. How different exhibitions are going to be situated as progressions through the decades. And he even told me where the restaurant and gift shop's going to be. This place was huge, and it was amazing to think that my mosaics are going to be part of this collection. We then headed back to the Culture Lab. I slapped some stickers on the wall, and we we exchanged gifts. Eric gave me a signed doodle of Rapping Max Robot, which made it home in one piece. Then it was time to head to Yankee Stadium, which was just a short walk away, because I had tickets to Yankees versus Mets on the Friday night. My main takeaway from mingling with the fans was that they really hate a guy called Juan Soto. Upon further research, it seems that he left the Yankees for the Mets earlier this year, and they're not too happy about that. There was a real party atmosphere around the stadium, with all the bars packed out, all the streets full of revelers, and the buzz of the game all around. I went for a quick pint in Yankee Tavern and grabbed something to eat because I'd heard the prices in the stadium are absolutely outrageous, and then headed inside. Now, my experience with American spectator sports is limited. I have been to see a Knicks game the last time I was in New York, and I've seen the NFL London series. Admittedly, that was at Wembley. But one thing that I wasn't surprised at was how much the atmosphere was supplemented by music and the big screen and the announcer. I don't really think it needed it because there was a lot of singing and chanting and cheering, even without the help of the PA system. I didn't stay right until the end, but it was a convincing Yankees win, and I got to see my fair share of home runs. Before going home, I wanted to check out some of the dive bars that I'd researched. I didn't want to go to any sort of pretentious bars with $25 drinks. Remember, I was on a budget, so I headed to Clockwork Bar in Chinatown, where they served $6 beer and shots, and they let me put some stickers up. On Saturday morning, I had some time to kill before I needed to get to JFK, so I went to Brooklyn, where Eric's Rapping Max robot is immortalised in the form of a massive steel sculpture. In 1986, Eric Orr published the first ever hip-hop comic book. It was called Rapping Max Robot, and fast forward nearly 40 years, and Rapping Max Robot is now immortalised in this giant steel sculpture which sits in Columbus Park, just outside Borough Hall Station in Brooklyn. It's pretty big. I grabbed a quick breakfast from the bodega and set off walking back to Manhattan over the Brooklyn Bridge.
And of course it starts raining while I'm in the most exposed part of New York. I think it'll pass.
So I wasn't really going to do this because I've been to New York before. You know, I've seen everything you're supposed to see. I've seen the Statue of Liberty, been up the Rockefeller, been to Central Park, all that kind of stuff. But I fancied walking over the Brooklyn Bridge, getting into Manhattan and just having a look around, really. I've not really got a plan. I'm going to find some gifts. I want to get something for my wife. The FA Cup final's starting in less than an hour, so I might find somewhere to watch that. But really, it's just a bit of free time. I've seen and done everything that I wanted to do. There are a few things that I would have liked to check off. There's some murals that maybe I could have fit in. There's one of Biggie in Brooklyn. There's a couple in the Bronx that maybe I wanted to see, but I don't really want to be rushing around. I've got to set off. About 4 hours I've got to set off to the airport. I think I've probably got more time today than I thought I did. So why not just sort of get some more miles in my legs? Legs are sore, and my right calf is tight. I had to stretch it halfway over the Brooklyn Bridge. It's all good. It's a market here, might check that out. Getting quite confident with the traffic crossings. Maybe a little too confident. I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble for jaywalking or something. But yeah, New York's been absolutely fantastic. I tried stand-up comedy for the first time. It's not even something that I thought I would do. It's just something that I've always respected people that do it, even if they're not funny. It's like boxing. I'm not comparing what I did to getting in the boxing ring, but you know, no matter how you perform, you've had the balls to do it. You've had the balls to get up on that stage or get up in that ring. So I suppose the similarities start and end there, but it's something that sort of scares me. It's like doing a skydive or something. You know, I wanted to tick it off, feel alive. So yeah, that was cool. I played chess in Washington Square Park. Loved that. Chatting to Johnny was great. He was really good at chess, really schooled me. I did okay. I think the game lasted nearly 20 minutes, so could have finished me off a bit sooner, so to speak. And obviously I've been to the Hip Hop Museum, which was the sort of the main reason I wanted to go on this trip. Saw the space that they're moving into, saw the culture lab that they're in now, saw my pieces, met Eric Orr, chatted to him, great guy, gave a lot of time to me, spent a lot of time with me, told me all about his background, told me about his relationship with Keith Haring, the origins of hip hop and art, and Pete Nice, Prime Minister Pete Nice. Yeah, he was a great guy to meet. I was probably slightly ignorant. I didn't know who he was when I was introduced to him, but I soon learned who he was and what impact he's had. He used to manage MF Doom. Okay. But yeah, he showed me some really cool stuff, and I couldn't take photographs of it. I was in his office, and I only got photographs or video of a couple of things. Jam Master Jay's hat and some scribbles by MF Doom, but he showed me so much more stuff. Yeah, really welcoming people, really, really passionate about what they do. They really appreciated me coming over. Obviously, they appreciate the artwork. I enjoy spending time with them, and I think they enjoyed spending time with me. A lot of questions, a lot of knowledge that I gained from that trip. And then obviously I went to see the Yankees. That was pretty cool. The weirdest thing about that is that the fans are all mixed together, and you'll get a Mets fan in the middle of a load of Yankees fans chanting for the Mets, and you know, no one knocks him out. Not that they should knock him out. The level of banter and rivalry is just sort of different to in England. You know, if someone was so much as outed as a rival team's fan in a home stadium, you know, you wouldn't expect a warm reception for them. But it was all sort of banter-based rivalry. And the game was enjoyable. I didn't stay for the whole game. But yeah, let's see what I can find now. Let's see, where do I go now? What do I buy? What do I see? What do I do?
Yes, he says very attacking the opposite, pointing to King Carlson's fingers to the goal, and in doing so, it then makes it harder and longer for the Eagles to launch their counter-attacks.
Since they opened the season with 14 games. What happened betwixt and between. What a sweet finish from a
Alex 1-0 up, not happy.
So I'm glad that I decided to find somewhere to watch the City Palace game, the FA Cup final. I was just sat on my own. It was really interesting, actually. I mean, I can't say anything as a United fan because we've got a lot of international fans who you may or may not find cringeworthy. But I stumbled upon a bar that was hosting the official Manchester City New York Supporters Club. So I was just sat on my own watching it with a load of City fans. Very interesting seeing City fans so represented in New York. But at about half time, this guy, just out of the blue, came up to me. I was one of the only people in there that didn't have a City shirt on. This guy came up to me and just said, "Are you City?" And I said, "No, actually, I'm a United fan." And he said, "All right, I'm a Palace fan." So we bonded over that, started chatting. He was a really cool guy. I had a few drinks with him. He knew, I was telling him about why I'm here and what I've been doing. He was actually aware of the Hip Hop Museum. So he was interested in the stuff I was telling him. I told him about what I've done on the trip and stuff. Yeah, his mum runs a hip hop tour company, and the Hip Hop Museum follow them and they do stuff with them. So yeah, he was a really good guy to chat to. What was really cool was being with the Palace fan when they won the first ever trophy, and it was against Man City. So as a United fan, that was quite good. I'm going to wrap this up now because I've got to find my subway station and I'm not quite sure where it is. So yeah, good afternoon, early afternoon spent watching the FA Cup final, but now I've got to get to JFK. All right, bye-bye.